were picking up one deceased. He was very close to the front contact line. It was at night. We found him, picked him up. I drove from the place. In that moment, there was a big explosion right in front of us, and the quad bike went up and fell on us. We flipped over. The ATV nailed me to the ground in the chest. I had a short breath, my boots flew off, and I felt that I'm barefoot. I'm lying down, I can't come to my senses after all this. The comrade has already run somewhere into the trench. I contacted him on the walkie-talkie. The signal was very bad. At the same time, the enemy fired nearby phosphorus shells. Our position caught fire. I really prayed there, remembered everyone and everything. I thought that was all, the end. I would stay there forever. My call sign is Sheva. My job is medical evacuation in an infantry company. We then flipped the quad bike back. It worked, thank God. We rehooked the rescue wheel board, then found the wounded soldier again, put him down and started to leave. There were 3 paths before us. I didn't even remember at that moment which of them we came from, but I knew for sure that one of them was mine. We just decided where to go by luck. My comrade shouted straight. Well, it drove in a straight line, everything ended normally. When I returned from the task, my blood was boiling. I could feel mad adrenaline in my veins. The first time I went to the battlefield, I froze there for some time. I expected a lot, but what happened there was 3-4 times harder. I imagined that it would be something like this. Someone is injured, I run up, give him minimal help, and he, like in the game, would take the first aid kit, 1, 2, 3, 5 seconds of loading, and that's it. The injured is healthy, goes back to the battle. In reality, everything was not quite like that. When I drove in, there was not even one person, but 3-4 seriously injured. One of them was unconscious, and I was so shocked. I didn't know who to help first. You want to help everyone at once, and you only have 2 hands. My partner was also there, but all the same, you're not torn apart. You don't know how not to lose someone's life every second, and you lose control. You don't have time to follow the actions of your partner at the same time. It was very difficult then for the first time. In addition to everything, constant explosions and shooting, all this distracting you want to somehow protect yourself from shelling. But you have to help injured, and they're in one place and cannot move by themselves. There are a lot of nuances that are influenced by all these factors. Over time, you get used to both shelling and explosions. There's no longer the sudden reaction of falling and covering your head with every bang. You not only get used to it over time, but also understand by ear where it's flying from and where it will approximately arrive, how many meters away from you. So when I focus on work, the surrounding background doesn't bother me anymore. I focus and get the job done. I learned very quickly how to decide the order in which to provide aid to the wounded, who first, who second. Whatever happens at the positions, it will not make us not go to help. We go for evacuation all the time. It's not even discussed. I didn't even think about what has been happening there. I didn't ask about this. I just went. What to expect? I will see nothing new there. There are many places where heavy armored vehicles cannot pass, and I am less massive, so I can. Lighting conditions are not so important to me either. I take the night light and go. The quad bike is less noticeable, quite fast. Its possibility allows you to ride on any terrain. 15 minutes and the injured is already at the stabilization medical center. If he was stopped from bleeding, then his evacuation in 15 minutes is insignificant for his health in most occasions. In general, very high hopes are placed on our evacuation, and we do our best to live up to expectations. The level of trust of the infantry in the medics is crucial. The whole defense depends on it. When people are sure that they will not be abandoned and will be saved in case of something. Once I found and rescued a soldier from another unit. We took him to the stabilization point, he was helped there, and I didn't know anything else. The time passed, I was already at home on vacation after the rotation, and then I get a call from an unknown number. I picked up the phone, introduces himself and says, "Do you remember? Then and there you saved me. I realized that it was that soldier. He said that he's doing well, his son was born the day before, and he's asking my name because he wants to name his son in my honor for his saved life. But the fact that child will grow up with the father, it touched me incredibly. I cried. I immediately remembered a lot of things, the ones we took seriously wounded who remained alive. I felt like a little hero. Not Marvel, of course, but there is a little bit of heroism in our job, and that's motivating. It's what that I'm good at. It's what I really like. You know, nothing else I think would have been so good for me as this particular job. Everyone has respect to me, knowing that I will always save them, quickly will do everything. That is the reason who they can more confidently go to their positions to perform the task with less fear. I usually conduct medicine training for the guys. The soldiers always like it. They give me a lot of questions. When someone else conducts training instead of me, the fighters are already calling me, asking why it was not me and wondering that this doesn't happen again. I say, okay, I accept, I will try. Before going to sleep, I sometimes remember some situations that were not 100% fulfilled, where something could have been improved. I always bite myself, think about how it could be better. I try not to show this during the day, but it affects my mental state. I talk to my mother, sister and brother every day. Maybe in this call list there will be a girlfriend soon. I don't know yet. I need to think carefully about this. Mom asks every day how the night went, how the night went. I say, Mom, everything's fine. Don't worry. Everything was quiet, calm. What else can I say to Mom? Can I say that aerial bombs were fired at us? Then she will come, give me a kick and say, go home. No, everything's fine. I came here together with my friend Kepa. Kepa, hello. And once I decided to take him with me to the task. It was one of his first such combat trips. We drove to the place, disembarked quickly, did what we had to do, turned back to the quad bike, and the shelling began. An explosion on the left, an explosion on the right. He was already starting to panic there, and he was already grabbed my shoulders, shouting, Sheva, add gas, gas! Let's get out of here faster! And where a turn to the left was needed at that moment, and I started gaining speed. I always used to listen to my second number a lot. If he screams faster, I go faster. I started to pick up speed and we're in the deep hole, and immediately behind it another, even deeper one. We fly into the first one. I didn't have time to slow down properly. We fly out of it and fly even higher straight into the second. We fly out of it and fly even higher straight into the second. I felt that I was being pulled by the collar. I raised my head. He was flying and only holding on to me with his hands, waving his feet in the air. There are explosions. My friend got back on the quad bike. He says to me, "What are you doing?" I turned sharply to the right. We're right unarmed. Kepa sits not far from me. His eyes the size of a penny, and his whole look says, "What just happened?" I said, "Don't even shout in my ear. If you were to shoot it from the side, well, it was just a really stunt moment, like from some action movie. Who'd be such a stuntman?" Civilians probably think that we lose a couple dozen soldiers here every day in every unit, and that we evacuating groups only take the dead from there. It is not so at all. It happened so even that we had minimal losses in 2 months, most of which were minor injuries. If you are constantly afraid and hiding, then on the contrary, you will be destroyed faster, I think so. But when you muster up your spirit, construct yourself together, do the mission quickly, get out of there, you have a much better chance. You will always receive some award you will be a cool guy, and everything will be clear. Thanks to everyone who helps us. I think each of us has a relative or a friend or an acquaintance of an acquaintance who is here at the first line of war. The one who volunteers, solves half of the work. It's not even discussed. In principle, we're doing every task together.